I'm Lynn Feingold, past president of the Folk Song Society of Greater Boston. Welcome, everybody, to our Larry Kaplan show. We're so excited to have Larry Kaplan with us today because, well, he's a real New England storyteller and songster, and we love the stories that he's going to share with us today. I know he'll be sharing some of our favorites, and while we couldn't be together in person, I'm so glad that we were able to do this the way we are today. We can all be here virtually in the big hall with Larry. Thank you very much. Larry, go right ahead.
Thanks, Lynn, very much. Thank you. What a pleasure it is to be back to Folk Song Society of Greater Boston. You know, it all began here, began with me in Boston, and it's a thrill to just see everybody, and you're going strong and you're keeping the tradition going, and that's just great. And as I said, I was listening as we were gearing up for this to all the discussion about leaf removal and property management, and lo and behold, my first song is called New England, and it's got some references to the very things we talked about. So, New England. Chill of October, there's always one storm, puts an end to the gold in the trees. Well, the branches are empty, leaves race on the ground, as they huddle in piles as they please. So the storm passes, and wouldn't you know it, autumn is singing for snow. Days getting shorter and folks getting older, summer seems so long ago. Here in New England, there is an old saying about weather and people and time. If you don't want shadows to get in your way, stop standing in your own sunshine. Clean up the garden, get out the snow shovels, shut all your windows and doors. Turn on a light, put some wood on the fire, so we'll know that you're in there for sure. Well, this quiet old village is down on her luck, and the reason is simple this time. Shops are all sleeping, no boats on the river, and the roads are still waiting for signs. Years passing quickly, no folks are fading, even the ones we hold dear. And the old steady habits that told us the time are watches with rusty old gears. Here in New England, there is an old saying about weather and people and time. If you don't want shadows to get in your way, stop standing in your own sunshine. Clean up the garden, get out the snow shovels, shut all your windows and doors. Turn on a light, put some wood on the fire, so we'll know that you're in there for sure. Steady habits, honest ways, count all your blessings, live out your day. If I had a harness and a team of kind horses and a sleigh that could ride through the snow, if I could be sure the next autumn leaves will hold fast till October says go, then I wouldn't care if another year passes, wouldn't mind having to stay. I would deal with November and take what I'm given, get on with these New England days. Here in New England, there is an old saying about weather and people and time. If you don't like shadows to get in your way, stop standing in your own sunshine. Clean up the garden, get out the snow shovels, shut all your windows and doors. Turn on the light, put some wood on the fire, so we'll know that you're in there for sure. Thanks. I brought an electronic cricket sound producer just in case I didn't hear anybody over there, but won't use it. The question always comes up: how do you adapt a wonderful poem to a song? And I was reading Edgar Lee Masters' Spoon Liver Anthology again for the 20th time just a little while ago, and came across, made the conclusion that everyone in that town was miserable most of the time. No one was very happy there, with a few exceptions, and one of them was Fiddler Jones. Fiddler Jones loved music so much and playing the fiddle so much, he forgot to take care of his farm. And he got buried with his fiddle in Spoon River at the cemetery there. I just had to make a song out of this, so in memory of Fiddler Jones and everyone else who's irresponsible enough to love music, Fiddler Jones. Put it on 3, that'll be better. Well, the earth keeps my melodies ringing. There in my heart was my life. And if people all find you can fiddle, then fiddle you must all your life. I heard the sweet tune in the clover, smelled the meadows that led to the stream. When I rubbed my sore hands till the rosin was dust, all those melodies turned into a dream. If people all find you can fiddle, then fiddle you must all your life. And if fiddle you must, play the tunes that you trust, oh, you know you will always be right. Well, I heard the soft rustling of dresses worn by the girls of the fair, when the crackling of leaves whispered winter again, when they called me the lad with red hair. Stepping it off Toralura left me no time for the farm, for a medley of horns, flutes danced in my brain and stirred in my heart like a lark. And if people all find you can fiddle, then fiddle you must all your life. And if fiddle you must, play the tunes that you trust, oh, you know you will always be right. Well, the world has its own share of troubles. Maybe you have your own troubles too. We're on this earth only once in a life, but a song lasts forever. It's true. Well, creak of the windmill in the summer, the hoot of an owl in the fall. Yes, a picnic or dance always tugged at my sleeves, while the rust put an end to my plow. I'd leave only my overgrown acres, in my grave is my fiddle and bow. Well, mine was a harvest of laughter and song, not a single regret did I know. And if people all find you can't fiddle, then fiddle you must all your life. And if fiddle you must, play the tunes that you trust, oh, you know you'll always be right. And if people all find you can't fiddle, then fiddle you must all your life. And if fiddle you must, play the tunes that you trust, oh, you know you will always be right. Thanks. Um, we're our archaeologists would say we might be in an interstadial period with respect to COVID. But wasn't it nice when we finally felt sort of was okay to take our masks off and go outside and take that breath of air and say, it's really not over, Um, but I heard on the radio in London, where we're living right now, somebody irresponsibly said everyone's doing just fine, so let's just go out and have fun. So everybody took their masks off on the tube, and then they had a big resurgence of COVID. But if you took walks and you didn't get too close to people, you really didn't remind yourself that there once was a world out there. Let's hope it doesn't go back to that. But this was a celebration song of that moment when everything did seem to be doing just fine. Pretty new song, so bear with me as I discover the chords again. Well, let's go walking. It's the first good day in November. Sun's out there, who cares about RNA? Well, we miss Thanksgiving, now what about the one December? Was beginning to think there was no place left to play. And who said it's over when nobody knows when it's over? Who said it's time to be staring straight up at the sky? Did you know you can furnish a house in a year using eBay? Maybe it's over, but I'm getting to like getting by. Well, time trips along just as slow as a drop of molasses. When did you say don't forget daylight savings time? Well, talk, but nobody bothers to listen. There's a guy on the news saying everyone's doing just fine. And who said it's over when nobody knows when it's over? Who said it's time to be staring straight up at the sky? Did you know you can furnish a house in a year using eBay? Maybe it's over, but I'm getting to like getting by. Well, time is long. Well, I like people, I just don't like being around them. Well, I miss some people more than you'll ever know. Well, life in a bubble, the whole world in trouble, yeah, maybe. So you start making lists of the people you don't want to know. Let's go walking, it's getting into last summer. Don't you think you've collected just too much velvet art? Well, you bump me 'cause you're getting an itch in your elbow. And I'll hug you 'cause it's getting an ache in my heart. And who said it's over when nobody knows when it's over? Who said it's time to be staring straight up at the sky? Did you know you can furnish a house in a year using eBay? Maybe it's over, but I'm getting to like. Maybe it's over, but I'm getting to like. Maybe it's over, but I'm getting to like getting by. Getting by. We did furnish part of our flat through eBay. We handed it to all the delivery people who risked their lives probably the most of anyone during that time. This is a song I haven't played in a long time, but it's one that actually is a compilation of a lot of very true stories. We lived in Vermont for 6 years, and would occasionally hear of stories of families who were either homeless or lost, who were lost and frozen in the snow. Vermont is a beautiful place, but it can be inhospitable in the winter for sure. In the little town of Peacham, there's a memorial marker openly saying that the town was responsible for the loss of life of a young family that was trying to get through and knock on doors to have some shelter for the night during a blizzard. Nobody let them in, and that was in 1860, I believe. And the guilt that stayed in the town of Peacham was persistent, and they took ownership of that, and actually have participated ever since in homeless shelters and real forward activism for those who are needy and don't have what many other people have. This was my very first CD with Folk Legacy Records, and I took a little while before I could actually finish the song, because it did bring poignant memories to me. So it's called The Hard Way to Peacham. From Moyle County Rail to the Old North Logging Road, it's a hard way to Peacham, never go it on your own. Where the snow hides the trail, where the trees they grow in stone, and the wind in these hills takes the skin from off your bones. Was a family most folks tell, with no settled abode. They set out that cloudy morning on that lonely uphill road. The town's wary now of paupers, so the papers all did say, and the work's too thin in winter, so they sent them on their way. Where is the shame in a poor and hungry man, in the heart of a village, in the soul of this hard land? Where shall we place the blame on a cold and snowy night, when the curtains are all drawn and the doors are bolted tight? They made 17 miles past the next little town. We must cross through these green mountains to West Barnett's farming ground. In the spring we will find work there, now there's snow up in the sky. We will ask for one night's shelter when the little ones cry. Light there in the distance, they can hear the welcome sound of the bells from off his horses as he bedded them both down. Sir, would you give us shelter? The snow's deep on the ground. I'll not have any beggars. And he slammed the doors all around. Where is the shame in a poor and hungry man, in the heart of a village, in the soul of this hard land. Where shall we place the blame for the cold and snowy night, when the curtains are all drawn and the doors are bolted tight? In the morning light they found them, half a mile down from his shed, the torn cloth of their blanket churned up by his own sled. And he swore he thought the crying was the wind from off the hills. All alone here on this mountain, it's the wind you know too well. In the town they spoke too little, and the men they cursed the cold. It's been one god-awful winter, makes the best of us get old. And the spring that year came early, and the church that year was full. And the sun shone down so sweetly upon that windy hill. Where is the shame in a poor and hungry man, in the heart of a village, in the soul of this hard land? Where shall we place the blame on a cold and snowy night, when the curtains are all drawn, the doors are bolted tight? Thank you. Well, I don't know whether to be thrilled and happy about the results of the midterms, or just sort of like taking a breather in COVID. We need to take a rest now for the next wave of battles, whenever and wherever those are. It just seems to me that there can't be that many people who buy all that awful stuff that was said. You know, almost half this country voted for people I wouldn't want to be around. But it's our job, I guess, as concerned citizens to try to educate, engage, have a dialogue, and hope that something clicks in the process. This is a song I wrote actually after Black Lives Matter March, and I had no idea that it might be relevant to anything that we're thinking about these days and experiencing. So this is really fresh off the recent experience, and I think it does work. It's called We'll All Rise Again. Well, the whole wide world is calling. We will all rise again, calling out for justice. We will all rise again, for not just one, but for many now. Every woman, child, and man. Until we rise, we will not see. We shall all rise again. from the highways, roads, and avenues. We will all rise again. From the towns and burning cities, we will all rise again. From hateful fears and bigotry, and one too many lies, we speak for those without a voice. We shall all rise again. I will raise my arms in protest. We will all rise again. I will raise my voice in angry song. We will all rise again. I've held these truths self-evident. I've held them much too long. The whole wide world is watching now. We shall all rise again. Thanks. Years and years ago, our family did our, we thought it would be our annual trip to the four corners of the United States, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. Where's the other one? I'll think of it in a second. And we did a lot of driving, and didn't know even where Jerome, Arizona was, but it seemed interesting to us in the guidebook, and indeed it was. You'd climb up this road to one of the most active and lucrative and productive copper mining towns in the world. Jerome, Arizona thrived during the late 1800s and early 1900s. But one of the problems of Jerome was that their slag, the material that was taken out of the mines, was left pretty much on site. So the town was built on slag and slowly slipped down about an inch or so every year. That wasn't the reason things closed down. Part of it was considered by some newspapers as the most debauch town in America. Many hotels, many saloons, a lot of very hardworking miners, and law enforcement that just couldn't keep up with it. So this song is called Jerome, Arizona, 1910. I won't play the harmonica for this, but it needs some sort of a Western touch to it, but we'll do it with the lyrics. I'm the sheriff here, and I'm wasting time in this flea-bag town up by the copper mines. Hard rock, hard work, hard drink, hard pay, and the jail stays full until the break of day. Jerome can call it home, and Alamon's Bay is a ton of stone. God damn this place I've ever known. Jerome. Rode the train out here, packed my daddy's gun. I was 23, all my schooling done. Thought I'd be raising horses in the desert sun. They were looking for a marshal, so they made me one. Jerome, Jerome, can't call it home. And a lawman's bay is a ton of stone. God damn this place I've never known. Jerome, Jerome, Jerome. We've got 6 hotels and 24 saloons, 2,000 horny miners getting paychecks soon. And dance hall gals take their tea at noon, while the men blast the tunnels in the sulfur fumes. Jerome, Jerome, can call it home. And a lawman's bay is a ton of stone. God damn this place I've ever known. Jerome, Jerome, Jerome. Now we got trouble here. Seems some mining boys getting rowdy in the valley, got some folks annoyed. Well, I wear this badge, but it don't help me. How's a fella round him up without a deputy? Jerome, Jerome, can't call it home. And a lawman's bay is a ton of stone. God damn this place I've ever known. Jerome, Jerome, Jerome. Well, this town slips 1 inch every year. 3 of the slag gets thick up here. Don't you build your house on the higher ground, you may end up soon at the foot of town. Well, there's a row tonight at the Boyd Hotel, and the Graham gang come to give us hell. Let 'em spit and cuss, let 'em shoot and shout, 'cause I'm leaving town on the next train up. Jerome, Jerome, can't call it home. And a lawman's bay is a ton of stone. God damn this place I've ever known. Jerome, 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 can't call it home. And a lawman's bay is a ton of stone. God damn this place I've ever known. Jerome, 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 Jerome. I think it's a registered landmark now, as long as it's there. This song is to me, it's a surprise, because it's about the troubadours who tried to make a living during the roughest of times, including pandemic times. And as I was reading more about the European pandemic, the plague, Yersinia pestis, during not only 1800s but the 1300s. The 1300s interested me because nobody at all really knew what the cause was. In fact, they had a hunch that it had to do with fleas and rats, but no one really could articulate and put it together. But it did stop everything pretty cold, and music was non-existent for a long time. The accounts I've read of that is that the troubadours just all either succumbed to the plague or just gave up. And it's thought that during that pandemic, the organism entered through the Dorset coast of England, from mainland Europe, and spread throughout England. And this poor fella that I've written about, I've imagined this story, but pieces of accounts kind of populate the lyrics. He decided that it might be safest to go to a high population location where it would be safer than in the country. So he set on his way to London, which, as I tell you that, you realize it must have been a big mistake, and it certainly was in this song. But you'll hear remedies and strategies to try to prevent or cure the disease. None of them is impossible as bleach, but that's another story. But salves made of animals and various vegetables and spices. all in an attempt to save families. And quarantine was a natural thing. People just said we just should stay away from anyone who has the active infection. And those who didn't would want people who had that infection to be sequestered off and out of touch with everybody else. So those are the things that are similar. And so this song is called The Dorset Troubadour. And there are some historical facts and details in there that you might find interesting. I am a Dorset troubadour, my name is Michael Dorn. I'm on my way to London town, from Abbotsbury my home. There's not one penny for my tunes, nor ears to hear my songs. God has brought the pestilence, he'll spare the larger towns. I am tired, I am weary, and so very far from home. I have crossed too many hillsides, taken rest too much alone. They say by scores good people die, they fear there is no cure. But if you can find some theriac, the worst you might endure. The rich man has his country lands, the poor man has his fleas. I have the tunes of health and joy, 'tis all I offer thee. I am tired, I am weary, and so very far from home. I have crossed too many hillsides, taken rest too much alone. Infusions made from scabious, of rhubarb, wine, and fig, taken with strong vinegar, then pray that you might live. Some burn the clothes they travel in, I press on to the east, and make my bed on woodland floors, my boots still on my feet. I am tired, I am weary, and so very far from home. I have crossed too many hillsides, taken rest too much alone. I wish I had a cedar chest with bands of brass adorned, to keep my fiddle safe inside, for fiddles now are scorned. I wish I had a pigeon I could slaughter for a salve. Should I be cursed to face this death and never to be mourned? I am tired, I am weary, and so very far from home. I have crossed too many hillsides, taken rest too much alone. Each village I now come upon does this call out to me: walk on, you minstrel lad, there is no hall for thee. For darkness spares the troubadour who passes by quickly. So I will go to London town and live both well and free. I am tired, I am weary, and so very far from home. I have crossed too many hillsides, taken rest too much alone. I am a Dorset troubadour, my name is Michael Dorn. I'm on my way to London town. I pray it's safe and more. Thanks. When you live in the eastern parts of the world, not Far East, but England and Europe, the point of reference of the Arctic is the subarctic, the Antarctic. I found that fascinating. You know, I spent many years working on an Arctic schooner and helping restore the Bowden, and saying someday I really need to get back up there and see what Labrador and Newfoundland coast is like. And when you get to England, it's all Antarctica. The exploration in England from England was really robust, and Ernest Shackleton, really the most famous of the explorers, who was a part of the crew of the 1911 attempt to reach the South Pole first. They didn't, but he turned right around and managed to convince Theodore Roosevelt to give him, during wartime, enough money to launch another expedition called the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition. The goal was to walk across the Antarctica, the land of Antarctica, wherever that was, by foot. But to get there by boat, he built and commissioned the vessel called the Endurance. And I think we all know the story there. It's an incredibly well written book, The Endurance, and I think you should read that, because it's a gripping tale of not just adventure and a loss of a vessel crushed in the ice, but all about leadership. Shackleton was a remarkable leader, largely because he didn't say all the things he was thinking and worrying about, but he portrayed trust and confidence and a drive to continue and press on to his crew. And he suffered. I mean, in his autobiography, he talked about how frightened he was much of the time, but he didn't show that. And in business schools all over the world, there are sections in the courses on leadership that reference Shackleton and his work. But one of the things he did when he was selecting a crew was not only, populate the vessel with people who had expertise in technical areas, mapping, meteorology, but also he thought it might be useful to have somebody who also could play banjo. So he got Leonard Hussey on board. He mentioned that he played banjo, and Shackleton's thought was, well, there's somebody who could give us brain food, because he knew that there will be low times no matter what happened to the boat. He certainly didn't know, worried about, but didn't know that the vessel would be crushed in the pack ice, which was a very excessive pack ice that year. And for over a matter of days and weeks, they watched their vessel just crush and then just get swallowed up by the South Antarctic waters, the Weddell Sea. So this is in tribute to Leonard Hussey. By the way, this is a happy song. to worry you too much. The Shackleton expedition is renowned really for the strategy that Shackleton used. He got his crew to Elephant Island, an absolutely inhospitable island, while he and 5 others took a lifeboat, something like 700 nautical miles across to South Georgia, just to seek help. Imagine that. I've seen a replica of that boat. was no bigger than anything you'd see in a harbor anywhere, you know, at anchor. And he came back and he saved his crew, and that's and his thought was that Hussey would keep everyone entertained while he was gone. So there is a chorus to this. If you want to sing it, please join me. 2 pounds. Oh, by the way, 2 pounds was all he said people could take off the boat when she was going down. 2 pounds of their belongings, so they can get them on the lifeboats and use those as sleds to drag it across to the disembarking point to Elephant Island. But he allowed 12 pounds for the banjo. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds for every man. Take 2 pounds of your belongings, lest they won't be seen again. Our ship's fast sinking in the ice. Please, Captain Shackleton, grant 12 pounds for the banjo, so the music never ends. Antarctica southwest we were, too far from Vatel Bay. 360 miles from land, across the Weddell Sea. Well, the pack ice was our rudder, but our spirits still were good. Mr. Hussey played the banjo, God, I'm glad he could. We had 27 able crew, hard workers, young and old. Among them Leonard Hussey, a meteorologist, I'm told. Well, the captain said 'twould be a shame should hunger dull our moods. Hussey's banjo surely can supply us with brain food. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds for every man. Take 2 pounds of your belongings, lest we won't be seen again. Well, our ship's fast sinking in the ice. Please, Captain Shackleton, grant 12 pounds for the banjo, so the music never ends. But food was not the problem yet, it was bloody steerage way. First trapped in ice, bound to the ice that January day. Then 9 months drifted northward till we all abandoned ship and watched the ice crush in her hull, and to the sea she slipped. Well, we lowered the lifeboats to the ice, the rigging smashed and torn, headed out by foot, 3 boats in tow with iron arms. On Elephant Island we made camp, the banjo still in tune. Please, Hussey, entertain them, Captain said, while I am gone. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds for every man. Take 2 pounds of your belongings, lest they won't be seen again. Well, our ship's fast sinking in the ice. Please, Captain Shackleton, grant 12 pounds for the banjo, the music never ends. South Georgia is our only hope, this lifeboat and 5 crew. 22 who stayed behind, survive was all we knew. And there beside our little stove we heard the ragged ring of Mr. Hussey's banjo. Then we all began to sing, and we regaled in song and dance, while away the time. Through endless darkness he did play, and oft wrote civil rhymes, waiting for our rescue on that cold and barren ground. 500 ways we tried to sing in tune to Sally Brown. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds for every man. Take 2 pounds of your belongings, lest we won't be seen again. While our ship's fast sinking in the ice, please, Captain Shackleton, grant 12 pounds to the banjo, for the music never ends. So don't forget the banjo, it may someday save your life. And here's a toast to Shackleton, who saved us from our plight. And thank you, Leonard Hussey, for you gave the gift of a song. Well, you couldn't play that bloody thing, and half the chords were wrong. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds for every man. Take 2 pounds of your belongings, lest we won't be seen again. While our ship's fast sinking in the ice, please, Captain Shackleton, grant 12 pounds for the banjo, so the music never ends. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds for every man. Take 2 pounds of your belongings, lest they won't be seen again. While our ship's fast sinking in the ice, please, Captain Shackleton, grand, 12 pounds for the banjo, so the music never ends. Thanks. I thank Bob Zentz actually for challenging me to write that song. He knows so much more about Shackleton than I will ever know, and um, he um, he hasn't heard that before, the song yet, so I'm hoping to send that to him. He sends his regards to everyone, by the way, Bob and Jean. You may notice that I'm turning pages just because I don't want to make any mistakes for this august organization. So forgive me if you see me staring to the right every once in a while, or maybe most of the while, I don't know. I live in a little town called Essex, Connecticut. I think you all probably know Essex. And we came here almost 40 years ago. I remember going with my son down to the river and watching commercial vessels still going by. That's pretty much all gone now. It's all pleasure boats and skidoos and all those things that are polluting and noisy. But the Connecticut River is a tidal river, but it has one problem, and that is silt collects and sandbars, silt bars will actually become growing grounds for trees and other vegetation. So vessels would often get caught and often go aground, and they had steamboats and actually a vibrant commercial industry for a long time. But with trains and trucks and so forth, the river became a bit too risky to rely on. But most of this part of New England was fed and supplied by the Connecticut River. It's a beautiful river still. And this is sort of a homage to those few intrepid coal-fired vessels, that smaller ones that had shoal drafts, so could make it through shallow water. It's called River Up, River Down. River up, river down, tide in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. That's the chorus. River up, river down, tide in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. Hartford docks on a Sunday morn. Ain't got time for the sermon. Got a good dry hold full of Springfield coal. Got firebox kicking to starter. Connecticut turns at the Middletown bar. Then it's straight down the river to Haddam, to Steamboat Dock in Joshua Town, Saybrook Point and Long Island. River up, river down, tide in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. River up, river down, oh, tide in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. Wind blows hot on a midday sun. Goddamn gasoline engine, silver from another fish kill. Makes you wonder about your own condition. Keep an eye on that river and those broken up trees. Bars grow their own kind of gardens. Driftwood farce in the riverman's grave. Transom and rudders and anchors. River up, river down, tide in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. River up, river down, oh, tied in a bar across over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. Ring-bill gull, she's a-laughing at me, says you can't go on boating forever. And some poet fella says he's crossing the bar, bet he ain't spent time on this river. Bet he ain't felt nothing like the hush of the night, when you're making 3 knots in slack water, when you plan every run by the center of the shore, the song of the lonely spring peepers. River up, river down, tied in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow old. River up, river down, oh, tied in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. Well, boats get you thinking, so I'm thinking again. Spent my whole life on this river, fighting the currents, dodging the bars, working hard just to never make money. But all that I wanted by the end of the year was to see her afloat in December, to know that her weight touched the length of her shore, so the land that I love will remember. River up, river down, tied in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. River up, river down, tied in a bar to cross over. 10 miles back we were making good time. Oh, what a way to grow older. Oh, what a way to grow older. Oh, what a way to grow older. Thanks. I'm told that this is the only song ever written by a goldfish with philosophy. But I tried this out at the Fisher Poets gathering in mortal fear that I'd be mugged afterwards. Those salmon fisher guys are pretty tough, and they wanted to hear songs about fishing, which I did. I reminded them I did write those and sing those as well. But this one just comes from thinking, what in this crazy world around a fishbowl might a goldfish be thinking? Totally crazy idea. I don't know what I was thinking about at the time, but this is Philosophy 101 for goldfish. Well, it's lonely in this fishbowl. Just float around all night and swim back and forth for whatever's worth. I don't know if fish has rights. I hate that hard hat diver, haven't said a single word to him, 'cause he don't make bubbles and he just wants trouble, and there's no friggin' room to swim. Oh, no, no, it's time for me to go. Well, the world is a mighty big ocean, gonna let that other fish know. Well, the water is still and silent. I'm all alone in here, since Moby, Ralph, and Marianne went belly up last year. Love that fair young angel fish, she was the joy of my short life. until that big net scooped her out and flushed her out of sight. No, 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 it's time for me to go. Well, the world is a mighty big ocean, gonna let that other fish know. Who'd ever thought I'd be talking this way? I'm just a tiny little old fish. Who'd ever thunk I'd have something to say or could do what I want when I wish? This is what happens when you spend your whole life in a bowl on a living room shelf. Sooner or later you will look through the glass and begin to take care of yourself. I'm the last of the deep sea creatures. I wish I was a whale or a big great white, some badass. You better look out and beware. Watch that travel channel, leave your TV on. Next time you change the water in here, to Martinique I'm bound. Oh no, no, it's time for me to go. Well, the world is a mighty big ocean, gonna let that other fish know. Oh no, no, it's time for me to go. Well, the world is a mighty big ocean, gonna let that other fish know. Get a little political here now. If a tree falls in the ocean, does that mean no one's there? Is a foghorn still a foghorn when it blows in fogless air? Does a fish down on his fortunes get lifted up again? And must I hear that blowfish say, make America great again? No, 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 I don't think I should go. Oh, this bowl is a big enough ocean, better let that other fish know. Oh, no, no, I don't think I should go. Well, this bowl is a big enough ocean, better let that other fish know. It's been over 30 years since I wrote this song, Old Zeb. I think a lot about Zeb when I think about all the people I met just being interested in him. And the truth is, I learned about Zeb in Maine. He was from Martha's Vineyard. And Zeb was named that people used for their boats and for their children. And it's an old New England name, but Zebulon Northrop Tilton, as you all probably remember, was a well-known and colorful schooner captain from Vineyard Haven, Massachusetts, on the Vineyard. Zeb.
Old Zeb, I love Old Zeb.
Yep, Zeb came from a family of mariners. They were all great mariners. One of them was a whaling captain who was known to have walked home from the Arctic when his vessel got trapped in ice. But Zeb had that gene, that ability to just navigate and do it with a certain aplomb. You know, he didn't care too much about working the vessel hard. He also couldn't see very well. He had strabismus, his eyes crossed, and vision got worse as he got older. So he often did have guests on board and would secretly ask them to go to the bow and just look around and tell him what they saw, and he would do the navigating. But the day that Zeb finally left sailing, he was in his 80s, and his daughters Rosalind and Gertrude took him down to the edge of the dock in Vineyard Haven, where the Wentworth, the Alice Wentworth, which was, failed to mention, was the vessel he sailed for so many years, was in her last days before going elsewhere. And in a typical Zeb way, he just said thank you and goodbye, turned around and went back home. And Zeb's family was a large family, and I've met relatives of Zeb in Oregon and Seattle, which either meant that he got around or his family was just large. But Gail Huntington and Mildred Huntington, Mildred was his great niece, were so responsible for so much that I've learned in the years about New England. Even though I've been born and brought up here, I learned so much from them. This is my version of Old Zeb. I've heard it in different languages now. It's a pleasure to hear this song get around. Didn't know that would happen either. I'm not tired of the wind, I'm not weary of the sea, but she's probably had her belly full of a damn old coot like me. I'm going ashore, she's gone for better days, but I'll see her topsail flying when I come down off the waves. Oh, Rosie, get my Sunday shoes, Gertie, get my walking cane, we'll take another walk to see old Alice sail again. Well, I'd like to have a nickel for the men I used to know, who could load 3/4 of lumber in a half an hour or so, who could put on sail by Holland instead of donkeying around. Then I'd be the poorest coaster man this side of Edgartown. Oh, Rosie, get my Sunday shoes, Gertie, get my walking cane, you'll take another walk to see old Alice sail again. Any fool can work an engine, takes brains to work a sail, and I never seen no steamer make much good out of a gale. You can go and pay your taxes for the ration gas you get, but at least to me the wind is free and they haven't run out yet. Oh, Rosie, get my Sunday shoes, Gertie, get my walking cane, we'll take another walk to see old Alice sail again. If I ever get back to her, you know I'll treat her just the same. I'll jibe her when I wanna, boys, and I'll sail in the freezing rain. I'll park that old boat on the beach and go dancing in the town, 'cause a man who's fit for hanging probably never will get drowned. Oh, Rosie, get my Sunday shoes, Gertie, get my walking cane, we'll take another walk to see old Alice sail again. Oh, Rosie, get my Sunday shoes, Gertie, get my walking cane, we'll take another walk to see old Dallas sail again. We'll take another walk to see old Dallas sail again. This is a song called When I Ran the Web Corps. Web cores were tape recorders, still are tape recorders. Most of them probably obsolete now, but are hard to find. My family had gatherings a few times a year, and it occurred to me that a part of those gatherings was singing, and so commonly you'll hear about families that are singing families. I guess we were too, and I bet probably many of you have been through that too. Someone will sing at a holiday dinner or afterwards, and that's the way songs travel. They travel in social groups, and whether it's your family or a larger group, a club, an organization. That's the beauty of folk song. And unfortunately for me, a folk song was maybe 1/3 of what I heard. The rest of it was Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, and God knows what else. And that was all good stuff too in many ways. But my job was to operate this 350-pound reel-to-reel tape recorder that my grandfather had. It took actually two people my age, 8 or 9 years of age, to do it, but I managed to pull it off, and recorded most of the evenings that people got together. And those tapes are on a bookshelf here in our home, and I have listened to them, and some of them are pretty good. This is then a song about singing in families. It's called When I Ran the Web Corps. I know my the camera is not picking up the guitar. You probably don't want to see this, but I have 2 capos on this this guitar. I use a half capo for this, and I strongly recommend that. It can get you into almost dadgad tuning without having to fear breaking strings. But I've added a full capo across the 3rd fret and 3 strings on the 5th fret for this. Whoops, gotta lower this. Late November and early snow, off to Grandpa's house we'd go. Well, the food smelled good, Father drove too slow, and we watched the fall pass by. It was every year my family all on Jen's new husband, and there was Uncle Paul. We ate way too much, and my grandpa called, let's sing the good old songs. Round and round the reels did go, one went fast and one went slow. My job to make the web cord go and save the family songs. Forward, rewind, pause and wait. Good singers never hesitate. My job to keep it full of tape and save the family songs. Off to the parlor the old men went, with their whiskey glasses and the gossip spent, and the women knew it was evident the night had just begun. I was only 9, but I can work the thing, turn that lever hard, push the record in, and the tubes glowed red, and the fan did spin, and it saved the family songs. Round and round the reels did go, one went fast and one went slow. My job to make the web cord go and save the family songs. Forward, rewind, pause and wait. Good singers never hesitate. My job to keep it full of tape and save the family songs. There was camp down races in Josephine, going up, up, up in that flying machine. A Sinatra tune starring Uncle Gene, verse 12 of Renardine. Well, the easy lyrics and the simple tunes, my memory of that late night room, when the women dozed while my father crooned in the half-done harmonies. And if I knew then what I know now, wouldn't have to search at all, would have learned those songs, every one and all, before my uncles stumbled home. Here's to Tom Dooley and 16 tons, good night Irene and the kissin' one, gentle Annie and Cora Dean, hard times come back no more. So find your memories in your songs, too soon the ones you love are gone. Can't play them back, but you have their songs, and the tape goes round and round. Round and round the reels did go, one went fast and one went slow. My job to make the web car go and save their family songs. Forward, rewind, pause and wait, good singers never hesitate. My job, keep it full of tape, save the family songs. Got two more for you. One is on this 12 string that I just didn't dare take it to England with me, so it's been sitting here. I actually raised the temperature in our house so it doesn't warp, which is how much I take care of my guitars. It probably costs 10 times more just to replace them with heating costs, but anyway, here it is. I haven't changed the strings in something like 4 years, so with an octave down, I think it survives pretty well. This is a true story that I didn't know happened until after it happened, which pretty creepy actually. Lived in Providence. There was a winter storm in February, or I imagined, having been in some of that weather before, that it's pretty frightening. And so I envisioned some men working, women or men working on a vessel in a blizzard in the middle of February. And in the Providence Journal, 2 days later, there was a story of 3 brothers lost on just short of the banks, actually, in that storm. So that validated at least the truth of it. And so it's called Get Her Into Shore. We set our traps in the bitter cold on the 3rd day of the year. It was 3 of us then, we're the youngest of 10, 2 for lines and 1 to stare. When it blows northeast on the George's bank, you don't like to take your time. But the engine was old, it didn't like the cold. We fell back on our line. Get her into shore, she can't take it anymore. She's too far from home, it's gonna break her bones. Can't you get her into shore? Jack throws a switch, he says, "You son of a bitch, what the hell do you think you're doing? We have brought us to the poorhouse too many times. You ain't taken us to our ruin. When the line went slack, we saw the stern turn back, and we started up again. She just tightened up, and I knew we were stuck, lying broadside to the wind. Get her into shore, she can't take it anymore. She's too far from home, it's gonna break her bones. Can't you get her in shore? Tom picks up an axe, cuts us free from the traps. He swung so hard, he smashed the rail. He looks hard at me and he spits in the sea. His face was whiter than the hail. We tried her again, gave her all that we could. We felt that screw turn round. Just tightened up and I knew we were stuck, lying broadside. Get her into shore, she can't take it anymore. She's too far from home, it's gonna break her bones. Can't you get her into shore? Tom puts her hard over, so to run with the tide, but she fell into the trough, and with her side to the swell, she just leaned and fell. And I knew we all were lost. And all that I saw was that rotten old keel with that line across her stern. But I couldn't hold to her, and I couldn't go down. I just wished I'd never been born. Oh, get her into shore, she can't take it anymore. She's too far from home, it's gonna break her bones. Can't you get her into shore? Well, the tide runs hard in the winter time. You're a fool to go and try. God help the poor man who was born on the sea. God save the poor ones who die. Thanks. Now I know I can do a concert without a break, and this is a first for me. But boy, it's been a real honor to sing for you this afternoon. It's a good idea, you know. Nobody has to drive home in the dark. Get ready for work or school the next day. So it was a good move. Thank you, Folk Song Society of Greater Boston. This is a first time performance of this song too. I was kind of gearing up for those kind of songs for today. This song is for every hardworking touring musician, folk musicians in particular, who I know, you all know, who just keep going and throughout all the adversity of the times and weather, audiences that don't arrive, audiences that arrive with too many people, all those adventures for sometimes 30, 40, 50 years. And I sort of have a hybrid experience with that myself, but you all know who those folks are, and God bless them. This song is called Long Ride Home, and it's really in honor of my friends and my colleagues in music. I have to find the right fret for this. I think it's right here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Long Ride Home. Thanks again. He's just a dusty-tied traveler, too many tales to tell. He's seen enough to make a joke, falling backwards into hell, with pennies in his pocket where the old holes used to be, and he says it's getting better every year. Green grass by the road again, and the snow's all melted down. Weather vane still saying north, about time she turned around, and he wonders if that old guitar's best friend he'll ever have. Like the snow, the old friends come and go. Long ride home, it don't help to make a living, but he can sing a tune till there ain't no room. Hear the rumble of the road again. One more stop and one more show, he's never missed a day. Half the folks don't listen, and the other half don't pay, but he can sing his bloody heart out, bring 'em to their feet one day. He can take or leave it any time at all. There's a song for lonesome travelers, and a song they say he's known, but it's for everyone and every brother and his brothers and his own. Can't remember how to start it, can't forget the way it ends, forgets he's done it a million times before. Well, there's a song for lonesome travelers, and a song they say he's known, and it's everybody and his brother's favorite but his own. Can't remember how to start it, forgets the way it ends, he forgets he's done it a million times before. Long ride home, it don't help to make a living, but he can sing a tune till there ain't no room. Hear the rumble of the road again, but he can sing a tune till there ain't no room. Hear the rumble of the road again. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Everyone, please unmute so you can he can hear our applause and our appreciation.
That was beautiful, so beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hey, Larry, some of us have a request. Would you be willing to do Song for Gail as an encore?
Sure. Yeah.
What?
In fact, I even have it harmonica for this one, I think. Yep. Gail Huntington was a great inspiration to me and to my wife. Gail knew a lot of things, and you know that he lived on the vineyard as a flatlander, as an outsider. He claims that he wasn't really a vineyarder, but you couldn't fool anybody. He certainly was. He was the town historian. He was the high school educator, town gravedigger, quahog fisherman. He did almost everything, but he was an avid reader and an inquisitive thinker. We were driving one day with Gail in his, I think, the first Volkswagen station wagon ever made. It ran on 2 cylinders. I often say it also ran on Newburyport rum, old Newburyport rum. And he would point out things that used to be on the vineyard, and we'd look out the window and there was nothing there but, you know, beautiful landscape. What he was talking about really were the people and the times and the memories. He really did experience that family exchange of songs. The singing Tilton family all joined him. He joined their family gatherings. And wherever Gail went, he was always in tune to new songs, and especially old songs that had been changed with their passage across the Atlantic Ocean from England and Scotland and Wales, Ireland, that changed, it morphed in an American way. So the sailors actually brought many of the songs, at least on the northeast side of the equation, and changed them. And he was really interested in all that. And that gave rise to his first book, Songs the Whalemen Sang. But I think he's written 10 or 12 books. And one of them is The Gam, made up mostly of songs that his family sang. So Gail was the real deal, and I miss him very much. So this is from that car ride. Song for Gail. And thanks again very much. Blue skies, south wind, fish jumping into your hand. What a time to be working old Nantucket Sound, from the island into the mainland. Worn out, smelling of bait, you'd come home by the end of the day, and the sun over West Chalk, those warm summer breezes, made you think it would never change. Get me my fiddle, we'll sing all the old songs. You take the high notes, and I'll sing the low. Good times and hard times, they're worth all the telling. Won't matter to me if you sing 'em that well. I remember the time when you worked for a living, pushing hard just to get back to shore, when you busted your back or you just wouldn't eat. They don't talk much of that anymore. When you sat with the old folks, fell asleep from their stories, stayed awake with the howling winds, sang your songs till the children were all tucked away warm. Night tides come rolling back in. Get me my fiddle, we'll sing all the old songs. You take the high notes, and I'll sing the low. Good times and hard times, they're worth all the telling.